Hello, welcome back to the channel. And this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings, and we generally like to talk a load of bollocks about tabletop gaming in general. And in this video we're going to be talking about a tile laying game that may or may not replace another tile laying game that is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year. We're going to be talking about Isle of Skye, and in this game you'll be purchasing tiles from your opponents. You'll be laying them in front of yourself to create a landscape that will, if linked together correctly, provide you with a certain amount of points that will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We're telling you what we do like, what we don't like, then we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Isle of Skye is worth your time and bother. Was it 5-6 years after it was first released in 2015-16? So remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you after this. Bollocks! So, Isle of Skye. How do you play this game? So Isle of Skye is a relatively simple tile laying game. Everyone's going to get a player screen. Everyone's going to get a landscape tile with a castle on it. You're going to put that in front of you. Everyone gets a score token and a discard marker that you're going to put behind your screen, right? You'll stick all the remaining landscape tiles into a bag and then off you go. So Isle of Skye is divided into 6 rounds, and each round is divided into 6 phases. The first phase is your income phase. You're going to get 5 coins for just having a castle, so everyone's going to get one of them, right? Unless you decide to blow your castle up, which you can't do in this game, by the way. I'm just making up bullshit. And you'll get 1 gold for each barrel of whiskey that is linked back to your castle by a road that isn't broken up, right? The next thing you'll do is you will, in turn order of course, you will draw 3 tiles from the bag and you'll put them in front of your player screen. And what you'll do, behind your player screen, you'll set your discard marker, your little axe thing, to one of the tiles, and this is a tile that you're going to discard, and then you'll place a minimum of 1 coin behind each tile behind the screen, right? So your opponents can't see the amount of gold that you're putting behind each tile. Once you've done that, you will then reveal your tiles and your money, and you'll discard the tile that you place the axe token on, right? Then beginning with the start player, each player will have an opportunity to buy one of their opponent's tiles. What you do, you look at the amount of gold they put behind it and you'll pay that amount of gold to them, and that player will then be able to retrieve the amount of gold that they put on that tile, right? If you don't want to or can't buy a tile because you ain't got no money, or you're just a boring bastard, then you will pass and you won't be able to take part in any other further purchases this round. So once all the players have bought a tile or passed, then you will gain any tiles that you have left over in front of you, the ones that you put out, but you'll lose all the money that you put behind them, right? So if you decided to go cheap and you just put a 1 there, it's not going to cost you very much, but if you decided to maybe push the players off or try and gain some money by making it expensive, you're going to end up paying through the nose for that one, aren't you? Next thing you're going to do, you're going to build. You're going to use the tiles and place them into your little landscape kingdom thing. You've got to make sure that each tile is placed adjacent to another tile. That doesn't mean you can do it diagonally. I know some of you want to do it diagonally, but you can't do that. You've got to make sure that the landscapes match. So water has to go against water, pasture, mountains, all that sort of crap, right? So once everyone's done that, then you will do a bit of final round scoring. At the beginning of the game, you will have put out different tokens onto the main board, and these will tell you how you will score each round. You'll see you've got A, B, C, or D, or maybe multiple types of scoring on the main board, and you will then go through each of these in alphabetical order, right? So you might have the good old sheep. You'll get 1 victory point for each sheep that you got in your clan territory. You might get 1 victory point for each completed area in the clan territory, and this is a little bit unclear in the rule book, right? I know there's a little section referring to it, but a completed territory is a type of terrain that is self-enclosed. So you might have maybe 2 sea tiles that connect together and create a little enclave of sea stuff. You might get 3 victory points for each water area in the clan territory with at least 1 ship and 1 adjacent lighthouse, or you might get 2 victory points for each cattle that is connected to the castle via road. So it might be the case that you're going to be scoring maybe 1 of these in the early stages. As you get further into the game, you're going to be scoring maybe 3 of these, right? So keep doing this, you'll keep working your way through all the rounds. You end up with 6 rounds, and then when you come to the 6th round, at the end of the 6th round, then you'll do a bit of end game scoring. You'll look at any scrolls that you have, and you'll get victory points dependent on each scroll. So you might get 1 victory point for every 2 sheep, you might get 1 victory point for each cattle, you might get 1 victory point for every 2 ships, or you might get 1 victory point for each lighthouse. If the scroll that you're looking at is in a completed area, like we talked about earlier, then you'll double the victory points that it's going to give you. You'll then top up any gold that you got left over. You get 1 victory point for every 5 gold, and then the player with the most points after that will be the winner of Isle of Skye. So what do we like about Isle of Skye? First thing that we really like about this one is the artwork. It's made by Lookout Games, and it's got this sort of continuation of the style of artwork that we've come to love so much from Lookout Games. You know, that sort of Le Havre, Agricola sort of style thing. It is prevalent here, and we do really like that about this game. There's loads of detail on the tiles. They're colourful, and generally speaking, it is a good looking game. Right, so the second thing that we really like about Isle of Skye is the concealed, not bidding, is it? But we're going to say bidding anyway, because I can't be bothered to think of an alternative word, right? You're left with quite a good choice, aren't you? It's one of, do I try and tempt the other players to take the tiles that I don't want by offering them cheap, or do I try and put them off from buying the tiles that I want by making them expensive? But the thing is, if you do the latter, then you're going to end up making it more expensive for yourself, and you're not going to have as much money in the next round to buy the tiles that your opponents are going to be trying to tempt you with by either making them cheap or making them expensive, essentially having the same type of dilemma. Yeah, that is a really, really good choice when you're talking about the mechanics that make this game so tasty. So the next thing that we like about Isle of Skye is the mixed end around scoring makes this game really quite exciting, because such is the case with some of these types of games that you're going to score maybe the sheep at the beginning, and then you won't score the sheep for the rest of the game, right? In this game, those pesky sheep come back to haunt you, or not. They might give you better victory points if you're going to concentrate on the sheep, because you know they're going to be coming back. So the fact that you start off with one scoring criteria, and then you end up scoring more and more, not in every round, but more and more different types of scoring, means that not only can you double down on maybe sheep or cattle, but you can also change your strategy halfway through the game if those tiles that you want don't come your way, and that is super duper. So what don't we like about Isle of Skye? So the first thing that we don't like about Isle of Skye is that some of the scoring tiles are a little bit too ambiguous. I mean, we had trouble figuring out what they meant by completed areas. There is a little section in the rule book, a little diagram that mentions completed areas, but that is on a separate page to the actual portion of the rules that mention completed areas, right? So it's a little bit confusing. There's other ambiguous terms in this game, like when you talk about ships and adjacent lighthouses, is that lighthouses that are adjacent on other tiles, or is that lighthouses that are actually within that completed area? It's a little bit unclear. You have to go onto the internet and consult the oracle to get a definitive answer. That is a little bit frustrating, but obviously once you know what the game is actually on about, then it don't become a problem, does it? Well, maybe it does. Maybe you're just being a difficult bastard. So the second thing that we don't like about this one is it's very, very difficult to see what's on your opponent's tiles if you're sitting on the opposite side of the table. You're going to have to sort of maybe get up and peer over, and maybe it's difficult if you've got poor eyesight like me to see if that is actually a sheep or a cow, because I don't know what the difference is between the two things, you know? So yeah, it is a bit of a pain in the neck, especially if there's a bit of a distance between you and the people you hate. So to summarise, is Isle of Skye still worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say yes, absolutely. This is without doubt one of the best tile laying games that we have played in a very long time. It is aesthetically charming, and it does offer a good variety of scoring opportunities and strategic options at the end of the day. It doesn't have the same sprawling impact of games like Carcassonne, because you are constructing your own little microcosm, and maybe a variant or something where you're going to be building like a communal town or a communal landscape in the centre of the board or something like that, may have made this game just a little bit more expansive. Having said that, if you are looking for a tile laying game that does offer a little bit more strategic depth than games like Carcassonne, and it sort of feels a little bit like a big box game in a medium-sized box, then Isle of Skye may be the game for you. So that's Isle of Skye. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Leave a comment in that section down below. And we'll see you next Tuesday.